I'll finish my coffee. Hey guys, welcome.
Come say hello. It's a place to talk about history, talk about science with Enzo, dig into the great unknown. Just come say hello, have some fun. It's the Karen Show.
Everybody, let's see who's here. Everyone, as you can see, Enzo's here, and the beautiful Carla with her little putty cat ears. So we're just going to talk and chat away and be silly today because we need some giggles. Let's see who's here. I don't know if Sky Talk is here. She said she would be. I've got a dog going crook because I won't pick him up. Come here. Oh, shit. I mean, little rascal. Come on. Who's here? Cheryl, good morning. Ian, Julie, Tanya, hello. I'm wearing flowers today, see? Hi, Joe. Joe's here. Who else? I think that's it. I think I've said hello to everybody. Yes, the Chihuahua is on the floor and he wants to be on my knee, so he's going crook now. So give me a second.
Okay.
Come here. I'm not chasing you. No.
The show.
No, we're not playing that game. We're not going to play that game. I'll get him up here at some point. Oh. Come here. Give me a second. Just give me a second.
Oh boy.
Come here.
Doggy trouble.
Hard to find good help these days.
I need a helper. Now I've stuck him out now. Now he'll probably bark his head off because I've put him out. Hey, when I was in Scotland and I didn't know I can buy them here, I haven't brought them here yet, but from anyone from Scotland or England, Ian would probably know, these caramel, who makes them? They're like a wafer biscuit. Tunnocks milk chocolate coated caramel wafer biscuit. I grabbed one of those when I was I grabbed a couple of packets. And when I was in Scotland, I was eating those and I thought, oh, these are nice. You could get them in England. I got them down when I was in England as well. And when I got back here, I swore, and I did. I swore I had one in my bag, but I couldn't find it until I only unpacked my suitcase yesterday and I found it and I went, yay. And then I Googled to see if I can buy them here because they're really, really yummy. Yes, Ian, yes. So that's my favorite. They're even better, dare I say, than a Tim Tam. Tim Tams are a bit different because they're more chocolatey, but if someone put a Tim Tam in front of me now and that, I'd eat that. But I'm good. I'm saving it for a special time, special day.
Oddly enough,
hey,
I saw a giant container of Tim Tams at Sam's Club just a couple of days ago.
Oh, I wonder if they're proper Tim Tams. They'd have to be, wouldn't they? I know sometimes, like your Cadbury chocolate, you can buy Cadbury chocolate in America. I've seen it. Yep. I brought some, and I don't know where they get it from. Doesn't taste the same. So it's not Cadbury's. I mean, it is. They've probably got license to make it, but it doesn't taste the same. I should send you both a little care package and you can do the taste testing.
They look good.
Yeah, I should do that. Yeah. But whenever I've been to America, I usually take heaps of chocolate with me and give, whoever some Cadbury, and they've had Cadbury. Like, oh, we've had Cadbury, and I'll go, have you? And then they take it and they go, So it has to be something. It must get made there somewhere under license from Cadbury, but it's not. Even in England, I had Cadbury chocolate in England. No, not the same. It's not the same. So I don't know what it is they do, but it's not the same. But yes, but if you're ever in England and you want a yummy snack, one of them.
I was Ian's comment. I was waiting for it. I knew somebody would say that about American chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Oh, look, I don't mind. I don't mind Hershey's. I've had Hershey's bar, but
it's the way that they do. It's the milk chocolate, is what it is. The way that basically it's Hershey's. Hershey's has like the the monopoly in the U.S. on milk chocolate stuff, and it's the way that they make their milk chocolate. To Europeans, especially, it seems when they taste it, they say it tastes like sour milk.
Oh,
It does,
because they're used
sour.
to a more darker, more cocoa like based chocolate that they use in Europe,
sweeter,
which doesn't have all of that.
Well, see, I don't like dark chocolate, right? But that's the best chocolate you should eat, apparently. But but I love milk chocolate, and my favorite milk chocolate is Swiss chocolate, because their milk's a bit different because they get, because of where they're located in the world, their cows, the milk comes out of the moo cows, tasting just that little bit nicer.
right.
But yeah, and our chocolate, I don't know if it still is, but Cadbury's is down in Tasmania, which is also a very cold place. And again, and I think that's why it tastes nice. There's something about the milk. But yeah, American chocolate, not especially nice when you've been spoiled, I guess, and had the nicest. Right. Says me who loves Vegemite, but there you go. They do not eat, and that's
myself. I'm not a big chocolate guy myself. However, Hershey's does make a dark chocolate Hershey's cup kind of, and it's a thin. They call it a Hershey's thin, where it's like a Reese's cup where it's got peanut butter in it, but it's all dark chocolate and just like a tiny little coin-sized piece of peanut butter in the middle of it, and those are fantastic. I love those.
Reese's, are you talking about Reese's peanut butter cups? Yes. Is that what you're talking about? Is nice?
Yes.
I love them.
They make a version that's just dark chocolate, and it's like really thin. It's only half the height of the like a. Mm-hmm. Those are good. Just if you want a little something sweet, that's my go-to. I keep mine in the freezer. I like them frozen. Yeah.
I like the milk chocolate ones, the Reese's chocolate milk. When I was there, I'd never had one. Because I've never seen them. We do sell them here. We do apparently sell them here, but I didn't know we did. So I brought great big packets of them and brought them back in the suitcase.
I was gonna
still can't get the big like what I brought back.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what your guys' favorite candy around Halloween is. But American chocolate stinks. No,
it's always my favorite. Yeah.
No, I'm realizing our chocolate stinks. No, it's
actually the one. As far as like Halloween type candy is, it was the trick I would play on myself. Because where I live, I don't get any trick-or-treaters, but just in case, I'll buy a bag of these very specific things that I like. And oh no, I didn't get it. Well, I have to eat it myself.
Yeah.
But there's a particular candy. It's like got wafer. It's got wafers in it. It's chocolate covered, and it's got Butterfinger candy bar stuff in it.
Yummy.
And I'm not even a big fan of just a plain Butterfinger bar, but their wafer one I love. I'll eat the entire bag.
Nice.
What's Butterfinger?
Oh, it's like got crunchy. It's almost like a toffee, like a peanut butter toffee in it, covered in chocolate. It's kind of a hard, crunchy candy. It sticks in your teeth.
It's one of those when you bite into it, it shatters into a million pieces and goes everywhere.
I think I know.
Then you can't get it out of your molars.
We call it peanut brittle. We call it peanut brittle, I think.
Kinda
it looks like a toffee, but it's got peanuts in it.
Yeah, it's not as hard.
Kind of like that.
And it's covered with milk chocolate.
Yeah. Hey, Julie. And I saw Too Cool for Banshee pop in. Hello. And Julie D. J. Jaya. So Halloween's this week. What day is it? Halloween. Today's the 20th.
Oh, it snuck up on us.
Today's 27th.
It's what, Thursday, I think?
So
I
think Thursday. I haven't even put any decorations out because the box is up on a top shelf and I'm like, I'm not allowed to get up and get anything. So they'll probably, but I'll still leave the light on for any kids that come past. And I've got one little scary clown that holds a tray. I'll pop him out the front because he's not up on the shelf. I'll pop him out the front. And if the kids knock on the door.
Oh, nice. Kids,
I
love it.
Yeah. Well, it's not as popular as in Australia as it is in America.
Yeah.
But we still do have some kids walk around the streets, kids love an excuse to use their imagination and get dressed up. But there you go. So yeah, I asked Carla along today just to join us and talk about all things spooky for whatever, and just talk about Halloween and what everyone's going to be doing, and then just talk about anything else really, like whatever's happening. You can see Enzo's out camping. Maybe looking for the Bigfoot. People keep sending me little memes, or not memes, like the Instagram things. You click through whatever the little videos. Hey Dee, on bears, because my friends in Virginia City, Taylor, she had a bear that was coming to her house, and I'm like, and it started to come the week after I left, and I'm like, if I were there, I'd go and buy some cakes and stuff and pop about, because it's not the rubbish bin over there.
One of my little animal stories does involve bears. So.
Okay.
Oh well, good. Yeah. And then the mountain lions, or what do you call them? Mountain lions?
Yeah.
Or cougars, whatever you want to call them. Cougars have been loose in Virginia City, walking in and out of people's yards and stuff. So people have been warned to put their putty cats and puppy dogs inside. And I'm like, why did I like it? When I was there, people were saying the week before I got there were coyotes and wolves or something that were in the town. And then the week I leave, a bear comes, and now and everyone's laughing at me because I said, well, I wouldn't tell anyone I did it, but I'd go for a drive to Walmart and I'd buy, some steak or whatever it is bears eat, and and putty cats.
Anything.
And I just anything. And I just, maybe if you feed the wild cats, they won't eat your dog or your chicken because you've already. But then the bad thing is they are cats, despite how big they are. They're still putty cats, and putty cats will go to who feeds them. And so it might be that you end up with putty cats just deciding, we'll just live here, and then you wouldn't get rid of them. So maybe not with the putty cats, but I would have loved to have seen them. I know they eat you and stuff. Bears eat you too, but they're so cute. They're so cute.
That's right. Ian has it. It's picnic baskets.
Yogi Bear.
Hey, boo-boo, my little friend. What did he used to say? Hey, boo-boo, my little pal. Or whatever, my little friend.
Get a picnic baskets.
Yep. You want a picnic basket?
And what was it? And the ranger had come along. Yogi!
Ranger Smith or something? Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
No, I can't remember the ranger, but I can remember
Ranger Smith.
Yeah, could be. It was just a short name. Tanya says she's picturing me skipping through a meadow of flowers, picking them and singing as she goes. That's right. Being followed by little bunny rabbits, squirrels, and bears.
Squirrels.
A squirrel. It's a squirrel. Oh, I was so rapt when I was in England and they ate out of my hand, like come right up and just took.
Oh, really? Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, out of my hand. I'm like, oh my God. Cute. And then I got covered in birds because they could see I was feeding the for anyone who can hear us screaming, it's not a human being in the background. I'm not killing anyone. It is my daughter's red-tailed black cockatoo who happens to be a boy, and it's spring, and he's going through, he's getting older now. He's coming into his teenage years in bird life, and he's horny, and he's getting grumpy. And so she can't even pat him too much because he gets all excited. I'm like, oh, my God, but that's what he's doing because he wants attention. And I'm thinking, you know what? Give him friggin' attention. Like, just bring him in. No, he's doing naughty things. And I said, well, he can't really do anything to you, and he'd be quiet, but no. So I don't know how long it's going to take till the neighbours want to shoot him. He wakes me up every morning.
Oh.
Every morning. He's normally not like this, but it's season. It's mating season. So he's probably doing that because he thinks he might be able to call the girl.
Right.
Yeah. I wish he could. I wish a black cockatoo girl would fly, and I'd just quickly fix him up, will you? Then I'll let him go. I'll let you go.
Family of them here.
Yeah.
Dear. Dear. Hi, Sort of Regan. I haven't seen you for a little while. There you go. So, yeah, this week's been a good week for me. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm still not allowed to do anything. I'm allowed to get up on a ladder. I'm not allowed to lift shopping bags. I'm not allowed to walk too much. No, well, there are things I want to put. See, I'm. There's no.
You can't get up on a ladder. You can't go into a space launch. You can't work heavy machinery.
I can't do anything, and I've got a blind, just a bamboo type blind. I want to put up outside my bedroom window because the sun has turned around now, and boom, it hits, and my bedroom gets really hot. So I just want to put this bamboo blind up to stop the heat.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to get on a ladder to do that, so I can't do anything, and I'm not calling up a man and paying him like $100 to come and put 3 hooks in my bloody roof. So I'll just wait. But yeah, so what else? Oh, so I'm waiting to do that. And I was out in the backyard early this morning, pruning a few of my little trees. Oh, guess what happened? So in my garden there was this like little bush growing, and I thought, oh, that's pretty. It had nice big leaves. I didn't know what it was. It just started to grow. Turns out now it's like I want to say about 3 meters high, and it's grown up. It's a castor tree. Castor oil. It's a castor tree.
Really?
I don't know how it grew. So I looked up on the YouTube, how does one make castor oil? Because it's really good for you, castor oil. You can ingest it, but you don't want to ingest it too much. It's just if you're all blocked up.
Right. Yeah.
But castor oil for your skin and all that sort of thing, it's excellent. Like it's a natural type thing. I thought, how do you know? So it is actually, it's a process, but it's not hard to make. So I thought, well, I won't pull the thing out if it gets too big, because it's this far away from my fence. And I'm like, I don't know how big. If it gets too big, I'll have to kill it. But then I've got all these seeds. So it's starting to, so you basically pull the pods off the tree, like cut them off, lay them out in the sun and cover them, because when they pop, they sort of go pop. And so you lay them out in the heat, in the sun, and put a sheet over top. They all pop. You gather them up. You seed them. You're left with the seeds. You put the seeds in a pot with some water, boil it up, empty it out, and then crush up all of the seeds, and then you boil it, and you basically boil, and all the oil comes out of them, and you scoop the oil up, and ta-da!
Oh,
castor
cool.
oil.
Wow.
So I'm going to try it. Might as well. I mean, I don't know why it grew there because I never planted it. So it's sent from nature, and I use castor oil. So I'll make my own, because castor oil's proper good castor oil is expensive. So now I can make my own, or at least try to. There you go. I don't know if that was interesting to anyone, but Tanya wants to know if you've got any Easter shirts. It's not even Christmas yet. Bloody hell. No, Enzo can just wear bunny ears. Yeah, you've got to be careful at the chemist, though, Ian. Some of them aren't made properly, and you never buy one in plastic, because castor oil can take in the plastic into the oil.
Oh.
It's got a acidic type nature to it. So, yeah, and I've noticed a lot of the castor oil for sale is in little cheap plastic, but it's got to be glass, and it's so no, it's no bother. I mean, the tree was put in my yard. I might as well have a go at making it. I've got everything in my kitchen that I could see that you need. It's just a process. Right. Shouldn't take too long. I'm very proud of myself to make my own oil.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I could. Karen's magical snake. Yeah, I'll castor. Ladies, I don't know how many of you know this, but castor oil on your skin, and Enzo, for you too, boys as well. Castor oil, if you get eczema, or what's the other thing people get? It's not eczema, it's called I've gone blank. It's like eczema. but it's got a different name. Anyway, but if you get anything like that, you get the castor oil and rub it on a thing, and it'll get rid of it. It's an anti-inflammatory thing.
Oh,
And it's really good for keeping the skin.
So have you already looked up how to use it from your tree? I mean, is it like the seeds or the leaves, or do you have to like tap it like a maple tree? Or?
Yeah. Oh, it's just no. It's the seeds. You get the seeds off, and shell, like what they're going to pop out, and it's the seeds. So you boil up the seeds, and it kind of goes to mush, and then you scoop out what oil has come. You scoop that out, then you boil it again, and it's 1, 2. You've got to boil it 4 times, roughly, I think it is. And then what you're left with is just all the oil comes out of the seeds, and you scoop it up. And when you make it yourself, the oil, when you buy the oil, it's sort of like a golden type color in the bottle, and some of it's clear as well. So that's the process. That's their process. So it must go through machinery and probably boiled and whatever. But when you get it and make your own straight from the tree, it's like a dark gold color, like it's like tea almost. And I thought, well, that makes sense, because there's no chemicals, there's no only boiling you're doing is on your, like, it's not being overly processed. So henceforth, I would assume making it yourself is far better than buying it in a bottle,
right?
Because it hasn't been over. I think there's probably companies that don't overdo it too much, but it's really good for you. Look it up. You look it up, the benefits of castor oil. And when I was a little girl, and I don't know why, but my nan, if I didn't feel well or I had a tummy ache, you'd get a teaspoon of castor oil. And trust me, you have a teaspoon of castor oil, you will be in the toilet pretty darn quick.
Right.
Because it's a
it was to clean out all of the bad stuff, supposedly. That was what it was historically always used for.
Yeah, and my nan always said, but I had no idea you could put it on your skin and on your body. And I've only been doing it now for about since I got back. I had done it before I left, but since I got back, I've been doing it again, and my skin's nice and hydrated again. And so it's good for you. It's good for your skin, clears it up and everything. So there you go. And just
excellent.
But you can look it all up. This
randomly growing in your yard now. That's fantastic.
You see, when things randomly grow in a place there by nature, I feel you wonder why they did that. And I didn't know what it was, so I had to take that Google thing, where you take a picture of something. Yeah. So I thought, there you go. Lubrication evacuates the bowel. Oh, D.
It's not wrong.
I wonder if that's why P. Diddy had so many bottles of oil.
Ooh, I think he had it for a different reason, but
yes, I think he did. That's a shit show, isn't it? Well, it probably was.
Not if you use enough oil.
I don't know. We won't go there. Hey, Faith. Oh dear. I don't think there's with regard to science type news, I don't think there's been very much this week, has there, Enzo?
Not really. It's been pretty quiet.
Do I need to play your intro? Should I play your intro and let you talk about the animalism? All right, here we go, because we know we love Enzo the Science Guy music. Yeah.
Who's that man in the fancy shirt? Who's the man with the cheeky smirk? Who has the answers? Who can explain? Well, it's Enzo the Science Guy. Enzo the Science Guy. Ask him how, ask him why. Enzo the Science Guy. He's Enzo the Science Guy.
Ta-da! I just saw. Hang on a second. Laura just said you can use it on your hair too. Yes, you can. If you, but you massage it into your scalp, it's actually helps somehow. Not quite sure, but with rejuvenating, so it can kind of. There's hints that might help with thickening your hair back up. Just saying, many magical uses. So if you're slightly a little bit bald, a little bit of a rub in those areas, and apparently it helps. Okay, Enzo, what have we got?
Well, if you pull up my share there, Since it's Halloween season, we're bringing the dead back to life. Scientists claim a breakthrough to bringing back the Tasmanian tiger from extinction. Here's the picture here. Basically, there's been enough, because there are some like old black and white films of them and stuff like that, and they're actually kind of cool looking. I think they're amazing looking animals. But they're basically, they were one of the last, what's the word? Basically, they were a predator that was like killed off widely throughout Australia and Tasmania because they were killing a lot of livestock back in the day, to the point where they've gone extinct. There are none left. But they're amazingly beautiful creatures. And these team of scientists in Australia and the US have worked together where they have mapped out 99.9% of the genome for the Tasmanian tiger, so that they are relatively sure with just a little bit more research that they're going to do, basically they're going to do like Jurassic Park, where they have a descendant that is similar to the Tasmanian tiger. It's in the article. It's some type of hamster kind of a creature. It's mentioned here somewhere. I don't know. It's genetically, it's a very close match where they're going to do in vitro fertilization, and basically, outside of the womb, the same way they do it for humans and everything, using that technology with some gene splicing that they've already done with early research. They're very certain that they can bring this animal back to life, because there were a lot of preserved specimens across the world because they're this fascinating creature. And I don't even know what this video is. I'm just going to click on it real quick. We'll just take a look. But
that's he's the last Tassie tiger in existence. And one night, because it gets really freaking cold, it even snows down in Tassie. One night, the magical keepers of the zoo forgot to lock him up inside, and he froze to death.
Oh no!
The last one.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's got these cool, like almost zebra stripes on just the back portion of it. It looks kind of cool. I think they should domesticate them and make them pets. It'd be great. But
a fat-tailed giant. I'll bring up a picture. It looks like a hamster. Hang on, I'll show everybody the picture of what they'll breed it with. I don't know how this works. Check out this. Hang on, Enzo. Hang on. I'll just remove you, and then present. I've got to get quicker at this. There we go. There you go.
Oh. Join the team.
Yeah, I don't. Isn't it weird what has? It's so weird that a little thing like that. I think they're about this big. I know what they are. Yeah. They're not huge. They're about hamster size.
Yeah, it looks like a shrew, like a Tasmanian shrew.
Yeah, little, doesn't it? Yeah. So there you go. I'll remove that. But yeah. So that's what they're going to splice all the DNA. See, the thing with the Tassie tigers, which was really sad, was it was the settlers. So when the settlers went down to Tasmania, bloody settlers. Yes, they had their cows and they had their farms, and it wasn't even so much that Tassie tigers were absolutely demolishing their cows. It was just where's Enzo gone?
I don't know.
Oh no, Enzo. Wait, let me see if I can bring him back.
Yeah, beam him back. Still appear.
Come back, Enzo. He might have lost his signal. But yeah. So all of these, farmers and stuff, they went on they thought it was a tiger, and that's where it got its Tassie tiger name from, and they annihilated it. We did have them. It's my understanding we did have them in parts of Victoria, But they were annihilated down there as well. Not so much in the rest of the country, but in the colder areas.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Did we get him back?
There he is.
I tried to get you back, Enzo.
They tried to.
Don't play that.
Why?
He's gone again. He vanished again.
Hey, oh my God. Come back. Oh, there we go.
Put that down.
There you
I don't know. Yeah, it's off. It's off. Magic, I know, isn't it? But yeah, so I think because it was a man-made extinction, like they went mental. They just went in, they just annihilated them in a very short amount of time. And I think it would be nice if we can bring them back. I just really do, because they're an animal that I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There were never any stories of them attacking humans or anything like that. Like there were no attacks on humans. They were like dogs. And from what I can understand, they would take off at the sight of humans. Like they really had to hunt them down. I've still got a sneaking suspicion that, because if you've been to Tasmania, trust me, there's a friggin' hell of a lot of bushland there. So I reckon, who knows? You never know. They may still be in existence in the deep, dark forest.
The odd thing about the Tasmanian tiger, well, it's odd for me to think of it that way, because especially when you see it walking around, it does kind of look like a dog kind of tigerish thing. It's a dog marsupial. It's a marsupial though. It has a pouch where it has its young in, like a lot of other things in Australia and Tasmania and stuff like that. But it was the last of the marsupial type predators down there, and they just got wiped out. A beautiful animal though. So having them come back, I think, would be certainly interesting. But it is one of those things that I don't know what environment you would. It's not like you're gonna, clone a whole, family of them and set them loose somewhere. I don't think it would just be then. Do you really want to bring a species back and its life is just in a zoo someplace? Is that the right thing to do?
Look, they could. No, well, when you look at Tassie, and we've got, we're a massive country. Tasmania, as small as it is down the bottom of Australia, when you go there, and I'm not sure, I used to have Debbie used to come from Tasmania. I don't know if she's in there. But when you go and visit Tasmania, you kind of expect that it's such a tiny place that there can't possibly be any good forests and things like that. But there is a huge, massive expanse of forest. And I think that if they could get them back breeding and it's successful, they could take them back to nature and let them do their thing. I think they'd be fine. Because there is a huge expanse. They can, isn't it? They could literally put them in. That's why I'm sort of still skeptical as did they really get them all? They say they did, but maybe they didn't. Maybe it's just, every now and then
occasionally there is a story that, way out in the thick of things that people spot them every once in a while, almost like a Bigfoot sighting, to be honest.
That's neat.
Yeah, see, Cheryl, you're in Victoria, aren't you, Cheryl, or are you in Tassie? I can't remember. I know someone that comes in here is from Tassie, but yeah, I still think, maybe they learnt to shy away from humans. And there's been some whack jobs. Oh, they're having babies on my farm. I don't know. I mean, you definitely sort of it's like Bigfoot. I don't know. But except it's not Bigfoot. It's not a mythical type creature. It existed. So I still think that it's possible. It's possible that there's still, as I say, Tassie is massive. The bush there is massive. You can't tell me 100% that you don't know, that for certain that they're extinct. I think it's just that they might be in parts where humans just don't go. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on Australia, but there you go. What's
You
it?
live there.
Oh, the
You are
jackalope.
expert. The jackalope.
Oh, yeah. When I was in Virginia City, there was the jackalope's the thing with the bunny with the ear, the thing, isn't it? It's
got antlers on
but it's
it.
got,
Yep.
yeah. I was in Virginia City, and I walked into one of the stores there owned by a fellow called Brian. He's down the end of Virginia City. He has there's Zola. What's the name of that? The machine that gives you your fortune? Zoltar. He's got a Zoltar, and he's got different things in his shop. And I looked up, and there's this like a hare, a rabbit with the, and I go, what the hell? He goes, oh, that's a jackalope. And I looked at him, and I went, and he thought I was going to fall for it. I said, yeah, I'm not falling for that one. So they'd done like a taxidermy rabbit.
Sure.
Yep.
It's one of those meal. Seriously, I mean, it's like Australia has its drop bear, so.
Well, but and people believe that. I don't think they still do. Surely not. But because
have you heard of the drop bear?
Mm-mm.
No,
I haven't. Nope. I have no idea what that is.
Here, I'll show you. It's a koala. It's a koala,
Oh,
right? You know what a
okay.
koala is.
Yeah.
Do you know what a koala is? The cute little. Well, I still say koala bear. I know it's not. It also is marsupial and has a pouch. So what they do is they demonize it, like it red ears and fangs and stuff, and they say that when you're walking through the bush, careful because it'll drop on you, and drop bear.
Drops out of the tree.
That's scary.
Drop bears.
Steal your shoes?
Yeah.
I didn't know they steal your shoes.
I've never heard of it stealing your shoes, but some people, I've seen footage of people being told about the drop bears and think,
that'd be scary.
oh my God,
it really would. Just jump out of the tree.
Well, there's no such thing. And I keep having, I've talked with Enzo about this a few times. Americans go, oh, everything in Australia can kill you. No, it can't.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
We've got one very poisonous spider, which can kill you, but you barely ever see it, and you learn to know what it is, and you look, you don't hear any stories of that sort of thing anymore. People know where they are. They're called the funnel web spider.
Have you seen
them? I've seen them in the zoo.
In the
seen
zoo.
them in the zoo.
Okay.
All right.
Like they're like running around your house.
Okay. No, you don't have them. They don't run around your house.
While not poisonous, you do have those face hugger sized huntsman spiders that are just like
they don't kill you.
Yeah,
they don't kill you. They're literally they're literally harmless. Everyone calls them Harry or Harriet. Yeah, we do have, which I worked out with you, wasn't it, Enzo, that our redback spider is the one with the red on it. You've got one with red on it too. It's called something.
The
you call it something else.
We have black.
The black widow. Yeah, well, we do too. We call them redback spiders. I don't know if black widows kill you. I don't think they do. Do they? They just make you feel a bit sick.
It depends on your overall health. Like if you're a very young child or a very old adult with weakened constitution, it can kill you out. Very much like scorpions are the same ways. Their venom is enough to where if you're already, we got scorpions. But if you're sickly already, it might push you over the edge, but you will get very, very ill. But not enough to kill you outright like some of our venomous snakes that we have that can certainly kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you right now, Puerto Rican, I can go in my basement right now and find a brown recluse in my basement. They're thick through where I live. They are everywhere.
What do they do? Anything?
Their venom is so toxic and acidic that when you get bit, it like dissolves everything in there. I knew a girl in high school that got bit by one on the front of her shin, and she thought it was like a sweat bee or something like that. It stung her because it was summertime. She went outside running around with shorts.
Yeah.
She didn't think anything about it. She wakes up the next morning and she said there was like almost like a 2-inch, like she said it looked like a rotten spot on an apple, and it was on her shin. And she had no feeling in her entire leg. And she could actually push push in on the shin bone, and it was all spongy, and she couldn't
Oh
feel
my
it.
gosh.
Goes to
See,
the hospital. Like,
see,
yeah,
we
you got
don't have
by
that.
brown recluse. And she was walking on crutches for over a year. When I saw her, she had
Wow.
a cane a year
Yeah.
later. A friend from high school that
Jeez.
graduated.
We do have,
They're not
we
as
have
good.
spiders called whitetail. We have whitetail spiders that can, they don't always, but can, if you get bitten by one of them, cause that necrosis of the skin.
Yeah,
they
necrosis,
can. They don't
yeah.
always. So all right. So we've got the whitetail that's similar to your brown recluse, but not anywhere near that. Like not that bad. We've got the redback spider, which is your black widow, and we've got the funnel web spider, which is deadly. It is deadly. But as I say, they're usually they're called a funnel web because they make a funnel web, and that's where they live, and it's usually in between rocks or under logs. Like, you'd have to really be stupid not to see where they are,
Right.
because growing up in Australia, you're told what they're like. If you get bitten by one, I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look it up. This is just, I think, but you've got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get help.
That's
They're
not
deadly.
much.
But in America, yes, and I saw Ian. We do have emus, and yes, there was a war lost against the emus, if you want to call it a war. You can't beat emus, but emus might peck you, they can kick you and whatever, but they normally don't. Like, they'll run off. They're not interested in you. That's kind of. We've got our snakes, obviously, but then you guys have rattlesnakes. I don't know if you have any other kind of venomous snakes, but you've certainly got the rattler.
Yeah.
There you go. So you've got some. Yes, Australia has the most deadliest snake in the world, but again, when you're growing up here, and just the same, if you went for a walk in the bush there, in the forest there, and you know that it's warm and the snakes will be out. You know to tread loudly and keep your eyes open. It's the same here. So far as America is concerned, saying everything in Australia can kill you, sorry, but we don't have wild cats coming into our, like, we don't have big lions that live here and can come in and rip you to shreds. We don't have big bears that can rip you to shreds. We don't have wolves wandering the streets. We don't have coyotes wandering the streets. We don't have scorpions, at least. Oh, we might have scorpions in the desert part of Australia, who knows, but we certainly, it's not, if anything, America is, and you've got the GUNSs with the human element. You've got tons of things in America that can kill you. In Australia, we've got a handful. That's all I'll say. Yeah, you won't see a snake. Oh, well, yeah, you will. Like, I haven't seen one. I did when I first moved here. I saw a few because obviously they're building and they're knocking down where they live, and the snakes and the animals go and flee. But yeah, it's very unusual. They hear you coming and they run, like they really normally do. Or they don't run; they slither, and they're fast. But you do.
I have a picture.
Get them like you've got a python and stuff.
I have a picture up down below there with a brown recluse compared to a penny. They're not very big, but they can hurt.
Oh, they're not, are they?
And
I'll show you a
they're identified by this bit here, where it kind of looks like a fiddle on the midsection of their back. Right there is how you identify them. There's not a lot to them, but they will pack a wallop if they bite you.
Yeah, here, I'll show you our white-tailed. Hang on, where are we? These are our white-tailed spiders. Oh, I'm going to... Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh. And ours are the same. You see their white tail there?
Look at that looks mean. That looks evil.
Right?
They're not nice. You see them, I will, you know me, if it's a huntsman, I'll catch it, I'll put it outside. Any other spider I will catch and put outside. Well, we don't have them, thank God, in Queensland. They're mainly, I don't know if you've got them in Tassie or not, but certainly in Victoria and parts of New South Wales. If they bite you, as I say, some people get that necrosis from a bite. I've known a few people that have. I knew someone who lost their toe because it was in. So you always check your boots here before you put them on, like give them a good bang or whatever.
Right.
And normally speaking, advisable, probably in America too, just don't leave your boots outside because, it's a nice warm spot for any kind of spider or critter to go. But so if they bite you, and that's how you recognize them because of their little white tail there. So the minute I see one of them, it's squish time. Sorry. And they're about as big as your breath. Some of them get big.
So they're pretty small.
Yeah. Some of them get.
Oh, I have a picture of
about the size of
a golden huntsman there. I don't know if that's that's pretty good size. That's pretty big.
Yeah, but he won't hurt. He might bite you, but only because he'd be scared. But he won't hurt. Like they won't. They're not. They're only poisonous to other spiders and things, So, but the thing with Harry is that they run fast. Like they're not, like a tarantula. Sort of like I could deal with that, but Harry Huntsman's, they're like. Like and that's what puts you off, I think, more than anything. If they just move nice and slow, I could deal with it. And I used to be terrified of spiders, and I don't know why. I used to have a phobia. No, I don't anymore. Now I couldn't do that. I could probably train myself to, but the reason I couldn't do that is because of how fast they move. It freaks me out. The same as mice. I love mice, but what are they called, Enzo? They're in Iraq.
Camel.
Yeah, those are camel. This is actually two camel spiders kind of fighting together. Their whole head is a pincher kind of biting monstrous thing, and also if you got bitten by one, you would certainly be pretty damn sick, and if you were not in a healthy state, it would probably kill you, kind of a thing. But they will also chase. I've seen them chase. They just go by movement like a T-Rex. Where I've seen, a Humvee will drive down the path and the spider will start chasing because of the shadow of the Humvee. They think it's something to eat. And they'll chase a vehicle.
Yeah. They're disgusting.
That's a phase. This is your Halloween scary real life kind of moment here when you see something like that.
Yeah, Ian, that's one thing I did notice when I was in the UK. Oh, you've still got spiders and stuff. Like when I went to, what's it called? The cemetery in London. I've gone Highgate Cemetery. I was looking in some of the tombs that have, little cracks and stuff you can look through. Because sometimes people, that's another story. But anyway, I was looking through some of the cracks. And, there was little spiders. I don't know what they do, but you got spiders, but they look harmless enough. But they love the darkness. So most of those places in Highgate Cemetery are full of spiders. So it reminds me of what was the Harrison Ford?
Arachnophobia.
No, Harrison Ford in the movie where he finds the thing. Oh, Enzo, Harrison Ford's movie, Dun, 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 dun.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. They have the spiders all over him.
Okay. Yes, and he's just like this. Yeah. He's just like
Actually, he used his whip. He had his whip
That's right. But then snakes.
Snakes. I hate snakes, Shock. Yeah. That's one of the best trilogies of movies ever made. Is those are the best three movies. Wow.
Oh, I'm a bit sneezy. Oh gosh. When I was at Highgate Cemetery, I'm putting all this. I'm going through all my footage and stuff and going, oh my god, I forgot I went there. There's places I went to and I went, oh, I forgot I went there.
Yeah,
because every day was chockers. I was doing that. Yeah, like I went. I went to Stonehenge. That was interesting.
That's so neat.
But it would certainly be nicer to be there with no tourists. Just be there.
Oh yeah,
and stand.
You're not even that
Right.
close to it when you go, right? They have it all fenced off. Yeah,
It's well, that's what I thought. It's kind of like an honor system. I think you could quite easily, because I couldn't work out how those people got over there to throw that crap on Stonehenge. But you could, if you were really going to try, you could step over. You'd probably get to it and touch it, but then you'd get grabbed. Someone's security there and come in. There's security around. They'd just come and grab you and kick you out, I'd say. But
some
if you
druid
really
just kind of appears out of one of the stones and grabs you and pulls you back in.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I know recently with that, they're because the stones that are there came from Wales, but they've just worked out that there's a stone there called the altar stone. And when I was there, they were talking about that, and that came from Scotland. That big stone, out of all of the stones, that's the only one that came from Scotland. And they're still going, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it. Well, no, we don't know how they did it, because it was a long time ago, and for all we know, they were more advanced than us with doing certain things. So there has to have been a way they did it. But it's certainly interesting that you wonder why they would have. Why not? I mean, there's no rocks around there, so maybe they had to go somewhere else to get the rocks. But you wonder why all the way down to Wales. I mean, and all the way up to Scotland. Like odd. And it's pretty flat there from memory, pretty flat. Oh, and there were mounds, which I never knew existed there, Carla. I took photos, but again, I still haven't. So you get on a bus so you arrive at the entrance where there's a big building and a cafe and blah, blah, the usual touristy stuff. You buy your ticket. Then you walk through and you get on a proper bus, and it drives you, I want to say 5 or 10, no, 5, maybe 10 minutes, not quite, up to where you hop off, and there's Stonehenge. But on your little trip there's fields with sheep and everything. And when you look over to the side, there's big, like the burial mounds for the Indian burial mounds in America. Right. There's big mounds.
Wow.
And I said to the bus driver, I said, what are they? And he goes, burial mounds.
Whoa, really? Whoa.
And he said, yeah. So they're huge. So I'm wondering, I don't know. Obviously there's a connection somehow. And also back then when Stonehenge was being used, there was a town, like there was people lived there. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like it was just out in the middle of nowhere. People actually lived there. So you have your burial mounds. So that's how old it is.
Okay.
So back in the day where there would be a mound. But it was certainly interesting. But you get a lot of, like while I was there was a lot of people. I think some people go there just to say they've been there and seen it. And then other people go there because they want to try and understand why or what could be. So obviously because there was a township there, or a village or whatever you want to call it, people lived there, had to have been, maybe it was like a church to them, who knows, but it had to have been something like that. And then just not far off is these big huge burial mounds, and they're huge. There was about, I could be wrong, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, there's about 4 that I remember seeing, but huge, like not just a little mound, like a big hill, and that was a mound. So really, really interesting. What's Ian saying? Visit Stonehenge on the summer solstice. They open it up completely and you can climb all over the monument. Yes, summer solstice, they have it open. That was the other thing. There's a couple, I think there's 2 times a year they open it up, Ian. Summer solstice is one of them, where people converge on it for all of their whatever, all the pagans and the witches and everybody come along, and all their spooky stuff and do stuff, but you can't move. I knew my friend MJ said she's been there, and you can't, she said you can't move. There's too many people there, and they converge on it and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that'd be a day to miss if you ask me. But it's certainly interesting. I think that they shut. I don't know why they've not allowed people. Actually, I do know why, because while I was there and watched people, just disrespectful people, I think that's probably why they try to keep you away from it, because I know some people have tried to chip rock off of it and stuff like that, you know. I mean, you can't do that. So that's why. So you can put it down to idiots as to why no one can no longer just even just touch the rock just to feel and tactile. So, you know, but there you go. It is what happens, isn't it? And probably the same with, we've lost Enzo again. Wait on, let me see if I can get him back.
Yeah, people can ruin stuff. They do that to they did that in Yellowstone too.
Enzo, come in. I don't think that really works. Yeah, it's just a shame, and it's just a shame. Like, there was plenty of, but it was. I'm glad I went, and I've seen it, and now it's massive. Like, you see it on the telly, and you kind of, until you actually see it, you think, wow. But I went to another stone circle. Where did I put my little book on that stone circle? I've got so many books. I picked up so many things, Carla.
Fun.
Let's see. Greyfriars Body, Running Huntley Castle, Dunarton Castle. I've got all these things.
Sounds like good read.
I spent a fortune on books. Yeah. Oh, well, I brought I brought myself a pair of I brought a book on paganism because I wanted. Oh, where are we? I wanted to read up on the history of it.
Yes,
you know,
it's good.
what is the history of it? Because because whenever you read, like I relate probably more to that because they were more nature bound back in the day.
People just take it the wrong way.
And I went to the London Zoo. London Zoo.
Nice.
I'm going to do a Winnie the Pooh episode because of the London Zoo. I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, of course it is. Right. Hang on.
You got lots of good stuff.
The Rolling Stones. Not the band. The Roll Right.
Gotcha. Yep, I've heard of them.
I'll show. Heard of them? I went there, and my friend MJ did she's a MJ. I don't think she's Wiccan, I think, or she's pagan Wiccan.
Okay,
something like that. I get like she practices that sort of stuff. She you know, she does all the herbs.
Wiccan, yeah.
Oh, there's not even a Wiccan,
yeah.
I'll probably. There's not really a good picture in the book. Oh, there kind of is. I don't know. Hang on. That way.
Oh,
sorry about.
Yep, I can see it.
Can you sort of see it? Oh, look at that. So you can see a human in that picture, but I counted 77 stones.
Wow.
But apparently there's only 73. But I counted the flat, like there's flat ones. So I think I was only supposed to count ones that were up like that.
Gotcha.
And I was told that if you count them all correct, if you come up with the same number 3 times in a row when you count them, you're supposed to be able to get the ability to see through to the fairies.
Okay.
It's like to the alternate. So I went around 3 times, 77 the first time, 77 the second time, 77 the third time.
There you
go.
And
I said to MJ, 77. Yeah, but she goes, no. And I went, what? And she said, 73. You should have got 73. And I went, 77. And I said, I counted the flat ones too. And she said, no, just the ones that are up. And so in that case, I still counted them correctly.
Right, yeah.
It's just I didn't know.
Yeah. I'd say that's accurate.
I didn't
works.
I think so. But I didn't see any fairy people. So I'm still very annoyed. Oh, he's back.
Well, you got the same number, so that's awesome.
Get rid of that.
I apologize. I have no idea what's happening.
It's not me, I promise. But yeah, and then I went to. So I'm going to put a thing about that together. I've got beautiful pictures and some video and explain the history of that. I've got lots of things I want to put together. But one of my favourite stories was always about Winnie the Pooh and the origins of, and I have spoken about this once before, but the origins of Winnie the Pooh and World War One. The Canadians, obviously our allies, but there was a Canadian. His name's escaping me at the minute, so forgive me. But there was a Canadian, and when he was in Canada, Canadian soldier, he went to a store and there was a fellow selling a baby bear, and he said, "Oh, I'll buy the baby bear." So he purchased the baby bear and it became the Canadian soldier's mascot, and everybody looked after it and he fed it with bottles and all that sort of thing. But when they went to war, and he took it to England, like he got it to England. So it went with them, I guess, on a ship. He took it to England, but when they had to to go to war, he thought, oh, hell. So he took it to the London Zoo and said, can you look after Winnie? That was her name. Can you look after Winnie for me, please, while I'm away at war? And she ended up staying there, right? So Winnie, a black bear, I think she was, black bear. She lived at the English Zoo, and she was very human, like she'd been around humans, so she was very nice. They looked after her. The war was finished, and the soldiers came back, and this particular soldier did go to hospital. And I'm still researching this bit because Hollywood does like to take some, artistic whatever. But it is my understanding that the soldier who purchased her in the first place did end up in a rehabilitation hospital because he had post-traumatic stress disorder and injuries. And apparently they got me out of the zoo and took her to him at the rehabilitation place. And it brought him out of his, he cried, and it brought him out of his episode. And she then went back to the zoo and continued to live at the zoo until she passed away. But while she was at the zoo, Christopher Robin and his dad visited. And they saw, and Christopher Robin wanted to see Winnie, and so they visited and saw Winnie, and that is where the story of Winnie Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, that's why they call him Winnie the Pooh, came from. So you can thank Winnie and a Canadian soldier for having Winnie the Pooh. So I just thought that was really nice. So I'm going to put a little video and go into a little bit more detail and show people who he was, and a picture of Winnie. And so at the zoo, because when I walked in, I said they have like little guides there, information people, and there was an older fellow there. There was a young girl too, but I wasn't going to walk to her, so I went to the older fellow. And I said, hey, I said, is there any monument or anything? I said, I don't know if you're going to know who I'm talking about, but Winnie the bear. And he goes, Winnie, you know about Winnie? And I went, yeah. And he goes, come with me. And so he took me, and sure enough, there's a big brass statue of Winnie and the soldier near where her cage used to be. And there's a plaque that tells you. So if you do live in England and you do get to go to the London Zoo, go find Winnie's statue. So I thought that was really sweet, and it's just a lovely story because of the connection to Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. And so there you go. Who just popped in? Someone just popped in. Diabolical Debbie. There you are. Hello. But yeah, so I don't know. And what are you going to be doing this? Were talking about doing something for Halloween. You told me at the beginning of this, Carla. Are you doing again?
So I did an investigation at the St. James Hospital in Butte, and it said to be active. So I put together a video that I'll be releasing All Hallows Eve. Just because everybody will probably be out trick-or-treating and stuff. So it's just my investigation video. Yeah, it's an older hospital. It's kind of creepy in some areas. I can't imagine having a surgery or anything done way back in the day when they don't have the technology that we have. So it was but it was a good investigation. I'm excited to put it out. Yeah, I'm not going to give out too much detail, but it was interesting. Some of the stuff that we saw. So Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, when you go into these places? Actually, that's a question I have for you, Carla,
Mm-hmm.
because I find now I've been to so many places that are, so terribly haunted,
Uh-huh.
and nothing happens. Some things, some things I can't explain, but nothing massive, like nothing on a grand scale where I've seen somebody or, so nothing that really drives home to me, oh, yes, definitely 100%
Right.
there's such thing as a ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the feeling I get, and I'm curious if you get the same, because you seem to me to be very similar to how I would think. Do you go to these haunted places and the older ones, like, hospitals, houses, castles,
Right.
forts, whatever? Do you go to those and find more that when you walk in, it's more a feeling? It's more like because like the building itself is talking to you and telling you stories, but not like you hear, just like you walk in and your imagination and your soul goes, wow.
Right.
I'm
I think
wondering, is that how you feel? What do you think?
I do. Yeah, because you're in the place where people were there, like they were alive there at one time, and there's all these things happening, and like even in the hospital there was nurses and doctors and stuff going on and trauma victims, and now that it's not in use and it's an abandoned hospital, it is kind of a solemn feeling. And I think in one
Yeah,
of your videos you explained that too, how you could just feel how it
yeah,
might have would have been when you lived in that era, that century, with all those. Yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
And I think like there's some people that go, and you've seen it, I've seen it. Some people go to investigate a place, and they've got no interest in the history. They've got no interest in
Yeah,
the people. They're there for the kicks.
right.
They're there to get a ghost. They're there to get something, right? And they kind of disrespect the history. They disrespect the history of the place. They're not going in there thinking they're there for different reasons. When I go to a place, I'm there because of the history and because of the people that went before me. And I think about, so we have a different, and I think you approach it the same way, because I've seen you talk, like when you were in the brothel part and you were walking through that, and the way you were talking about the different things, that was intriguing, that place.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you put yourself back in time. That's what I try to do. Like even when I went to some of the castles, as much as they were ruins, I still imagined when I would walk through these archways and stuff, wow, these steps that I'm about to step on were stepped on
Oh yeah. Right.
hundreds, thousands of years ago. And that's how I think. Whereas some other people just go and go, oh, it's old building. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think different. Yeah, just old rocks, just old stones. Like I think it has to be within you as a human being to also want to connect to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a connection. So not
Exactly.
everybody has that connection or sees it that way. Debbie obviously does, because she just said there. Where did you say that, Debbie? Oh, it's further up. Hang on. Residual. Yeah, it's residual energy, but it's not a ghost. It's like it's almost like those rocks or those bricks or that wood over hundreds and hundreds of years of people coming and going has taken their energy, the things that have happened there, because you can walk in, and you must have had this too, Carla, where you can walk into a room in the middle of the day and yes, it's very pretty and everything, but there's nothing extraordinary about it. But you might come back an hour later and the mood of the room has changed and you can't quite figure out why.
Right.
And I sometimes wonder, and people go, oh, the energy has changed or shifted. And that's what I think it is. It's energy changing or shifting. And there's so much to do with timey-wimey stuff. Like, is it somehow, I don't know if it's a ghost. I think it's just in some way a connection timeline-wise. Like maybe if you had a solid history on the place, you could go back to a certain date at a certain time, and maybe in that room of that house or whatever on that day 100 years ago at that time time this happened in that room, and somehow the building remembers it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I haven't seen a ghost.
Yeah.
I haven't,
it's
I haven't.
It's definitely a feeling, like you explained. Yeah. I don't always go in there expecting to find anything. Like,
No, I want to, but
yeah,
I've
not
kind of
one
gotten to the
that
point
like
now where
it's all like hyped up, like I'm gonna find a ghost every time, or people have the equipment go off, and my cat is beating up a box.
I can hear your cat.
My cat is like decided to destroy a box right now.
She's doing this. Is she doing this, or she's destroying
It's like,
the box?
excuse me, like your doggy, but yeah, he's like, oh, I want attention. What was I gonna say? Oh, that I don't go in expecting. Like, I want to know about the history, like the brothel. I can't imagine being a woman living through that, and it was just really
Can you
weird.
imagine?
Like, God,
I've often made a joke about this.
Like the health,
but
and
back
everything.
in those days, they didn't have a shower.
Yeah,
like they didn't have a shower. They could have a bath maybe once a week.
Yeah.
So that's where the old
and neither did the gentleman.
the
So
Horr
it's like, I can't imagine like how they kept. How they
clean?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't.
Or healthy. How did they keep their bodies healthy? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
So I just can't imagine like how that lifestyle would have been for them. But that's how they
would have
lived.
been terrible.
That's how it was back then. Like, but like going to a castle or anything like that, like even back in those times was probably so hard. Like you don't know if you're going to get invaded or if your life's at stake. And then, those kind of things, or if you live in poverty there, it was so different from the way things are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get your feelings.
And that's kind of how I'm approaching everything now. So it's not, because as I've talked about it before, odd things did happen to me when Stephen passed away. Very, very odd things that I cannot explain. Yeah. So do I believe in paranormal? Of course I do, because paranormal is exactly that, the unexplainable,
Yeah.
You can put it back up in a minute, Enzo. But so far as ghosts and spirits are concerned, I don't know. I'm still under the impression that possibly when we pass away, we've got a short window of time that we can still be tethered to this realm, and then it just finishes. And I will tell you an interesting story, and then we'll let Enzo show his other picture. When I was at the Ancient Ram Inn, I did a bit of research. In my research, I did a bit of research on the Ancient Ram Inn. It's not as old as what they say it is, unfortunately. That's a it's not from the 11th, the 1100s. It was built, the first part of the building was built in 1397. So I was a little bit disappointed it wasn't as old as what they said, but it's still old.
Yeah.
And then over the years, bits were added to it, right? So that's the only thing that was wrong with the history. And many times I've watched people go there. And in fact, I don't think I'm ruining anything, but I know that Beardo, Mythos, and I believe Side-Eye Guy are going there in December.
Okay.
Do I think they'll find? Do I think they'll find anything? No, because I don't think there's anything there.
Yeah, I hear a lot about.
Having said that, while we were there, a few paranormal things did occur. And remember what I say when I'm talking paranormal. So paranormal definition is you can't find a logical answer. So, and I've got the video and I'm going to put it together, but my friend MJ and I were on the landing. So there's, when you walk into the building, you're on the ground level, then you go up some stairs and you're on the next level, and there's a little landing in there that leads to other rooms, including the, what is it, the bishop? I don't know, or whatever it is, the priest's room or whatever.
Okay.
We were standing in the landing because in that it's a little square area and there's all old articles on the wall about the place. So we're standing there reading things. I had my camera on because I was taking pictures of the articles because I thought I might not get those anywhere else. So I had my camera on, and then I did a video pan of the room. As I was doing that, and MJ, she wasn't doing anything. She was just looking as well. There was this God Almighty big bang, like someone right next to us had really jumped up and pounded on. It's kind of like someone went bang, like someone had jumped because the floor moved.
Oh.
And I went, "Oh, is that you?" Because she was right next to me, and I didn't feel that a bit. And she went, but she looked at the same time I did, and I went, "What the hell was that?" And we stood there for a minute, and I looked at her and I said, "Someone." I said, "I don't know." I said, "Someone must have come in and shut a door." She said, "I don't know." She said, and she put on a recorder. She had a recorder, and I put on my camera, and she said, "Hang on a second." And so she spoke out loud because it did frighten us, but not in the way of like, oh, a ghost. We were like, what the hell? It was a jump start. Jump scare. So we were asking some questions or whatever, and MJ said out loud, "If that's the best you can do to scare us," she said, "if that's what that was, if that was you," like she said, "we're not scared. Like, that's cool. Can you do it again?" And when she said, "Can you do it again?" They did it again.
Whoa.
And we were looking at each other, and I said, "That's weird." And then she turned off her recorder. I can't remember. I don't think she got anything on the recorder. There was nothing from memory. I'll have to check with her because there was a few odd things like that throughout the night. But so that was definitely something odd. And when we spoke to the fellow who was staying there, because they've got a stonemason staying there at the moment doing repairs on the building, but he lives outside in a caravan. And we were talking to him later when we were having a cup of tea break. And he said he had heard some people complain about that. But we went after that second time. Then I said to her, "Nah," because I said, "No." I said, "Someone's fucking with us." That's exactly what I said. "Someone's fucking with us. There's someone down here. There's someone. Let's go." So we both raced downstairs. She went one way, I went the other, and we're checking the doors, and we did the whole debunking, like banging that door, but you couldn't actually bang the door. So she stayed up there, and I said, "Right, I'll go and shut all these doors." Nothing did it. Nothing. We shut doors. We jumped up and down. I got a thing and hit the bottom of the floor where she was standing. Nothing. So I must admit, I've never seen a shadow person, Debbie. I've never seen anything like that. So definitely weird. Could it have just been the house shifting and coincidental? Sure, but it was friggin' loud and it was bang.
Right.
It
but
was
the second time when you asked it to, that's what it's like. Yeah.
And then when we were see the people that are watching get all this before I put it in the episode, so it's a preview. The other thing that happened while we were there, we went into the bishop's room or whatever it's called, the priest's room or something. And there's a few things I didn't research. You know what I'm like. So there's a few stories told about the place that are not factual, but we went into the room and we sat there, and MJ had her recorder, and we're just sitting there talking out loud and introducing ourselves, because I said, I said, you know me, I've gone, I hope you don't mind. We'll be here. We're not going to sleep here tonight, because I had a nice hotel room. I wanted to sleep. I wasn't sure if it would be clean. It was clean enough to sleep in, but I still wasn't sure. So we're not staying here tonight. We'll probably be here until early hours of the morning, though. I hope you don't mind. All right. Then we asked a few more questions. Then MJ listened back on her recorder. So her recorder, if there's nothing, if it doesn't hear anything, it sort of, I don't know how you call it, it cuts off. So you don't have to sit there for the 20 minutes it's taken you to listen. It'll cut off if there's no reply to your next question.
Oh, okay.
So when I said, I hope you don't mind us being here, we'll be really respectful or whatever.
Right.
There was a male voice, and it said, "Welcome."
Oh.
And I'm like, and I looked at her and I went, "What?" She said, "What?"
Really?
And we played it back, and clear as bell, "Welcome."
Oh.
And I went, "Wow." And I said, "Oh, well, that's good." So then we went on our merry way. So yeah, that was and it was
In the
definitely
priest
welcome.
room, huh?
And I'm
Oh,
in the priest room.
wow.
Welcome. I
Yeah.
spoke out loud to the witch, and I said, I'm not going to call you a witch. And I said, I don't even know if there was really a witch here because I'm still researching that.
Yeah.
But I said, whoever you are, la, la, la. Then MJ and I started to bond a little bit because she lost her brother. Okay. And so we were just having talks and nothing was really happening. We were just having a conversation. And then the mood of the room changed, got a little bit cold.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, so we started to ask some questions. She put a recorder out, and funnily enough, all night we sort of felt, like I say, the building talks to you. We sort of felt different feelings in different rooms, but it was nothing horrible. It was just like, wow, imagine the people that used to be here, that sort of thing. But we started to ask the question of when you died, did your family, like, what happens when you die? Did your family come and get you? Can you just come here because you want to and then you go back to your, like, we started to ask the questions we all want to know.
Right.
Oomph. It was almost like the spirits said, shit, we're not going to have fun with these guys. We can't scare them. And now they're asking questions we're not allowed to give answers to. That's how it felt. And I looked at her and I said, well, I don't know if there's anything here or not, or if it's a building or whatever. I said, but it's gone dead as a doornail now, hasn't it? And she went, yeah. I said, oh, bloody hell. I said, we've scared all the ghosts away. We've scared them all away because we've asked them questions they're not allowed to answer.
Yeah.
So it was really, really interesting. So I've got another sneaking suspicion. What's your cat doing now? Is that her? Is that what
box? I'm so sorry. He's a black cat. He's playing in my box. It's, I have a box that had my it's got my what is it, smoke machine for Halloween, and I took it out and now he's like, oh yay, a toy. And I was like, can't you leave it alone? Sleeps all day and now he's got the Wiggins.
It's like a little kid where they play more with the big empty box than they do the toy that came in.
That's what he's just loving, the box right now. I was like, I should have kept it in there because I didn't think he was going to do that during our live, but of course. So
there you go. No, I don't mind. You know me, I've got dogs that bark and birds that screech. So I'm but I'm slowly coming around to feeling like there's stuff we definitely don't know and we'll never get the answer to, and we're never going to get the answer to it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was almost like that night.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, I just had I just had a feeling that night sitting there. There's definitely. I've never been a person to believe in God, but I believe in a greater thing, right? So I don't believe there's one ultimate being. I believe there's, or maybe, I don't know, but I've never been someone who's like, oh, when I talk to whatever, I talk to, relatives that have gone before me. I talk to the bird that's sitting on the tree. I'll sit outside in nature and I'll just talk out loud. So I figure if there's something there that can hear me, that is greater than me, it can hear me. I don't have to say, oh God, because I don't know if it's a God. God puts something up on a pedestal. I think it's like an everything.
Yeah.
It's like the cosmos. It's everything. And there could be, that's just how I feel. But I'm beginning to go more like that now, since I've gone to all these places and nothing's really happened, and not for not wanting it to, but because it happens to me in a different way. It's kind of like I can feel it. I can feel the history. I can feel what went before me. I've got a respect for what went before me and what will come after me. And I just sort of think there are all these questions we have. What happens when we die? We're never, ever, it's like we're never going to know. we're not allowed to know. That's how I feel. We're not allowed to know. So now when I see people say, oh, I'm talking to the dead, and they're telling me, like tap, 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 I think bullshit. Because if they're telling you heaven is good,
myself, but
I don't again. Is it the dead? Is it like, what could it be? But I do think it was just something about that night at the inn that when MJ and I were talking, it was like it both came over us at the same time. You know what? We're not allowed to know the answer to that. Yeah. I don't think we're allowed to know the answer. And if you think about it, if we did know the answer, if we did know that when you die, if we knew 100%, when you die, the people that you love that went before you, or the people that have just passed that you miss, will come and get you, and you're going to go to a really, really nice place. Ooh, there's a lot of people that'd be just enough for them to go, fuck it then, I'm off. Mm-hmm. And that would be devastating to the people that are still here. So I reckon there's a reason we're not allowed to know that. We've got to live our life, be kind, and do the best we can to help other people, and just be kind, and then we'll find out. One day when we go, we'll find out, and it'll be a reward for being a good human. That's what I think. That's what I reckon. So I don't know. And maybe there's people on the other side, ghosties and things, that can come and go when they want to, and maybe they get special permission, or maybe they're cheeky like me and just think, no, stuff you, I'm going to go and scare them. Maybe maybe it's a game to them. For sometimes scary things happen and people jump and go and run. That's if I were a ghost and I were bored and sick of people coming in saying, how did you die? Why do they call you a witch? Come on, succubus. Like if I were, I'd be thinking, oh, let's have some fun.
You think they would torment the faking channels more than, let's give them a real scare since they're looking for it. But then again, they'd have
I wish they would.
You know what I mean? Like,
but then,
but maybe it just makes them mad.
We were under when I did the investigation earlier this year over at northeast of me there. We did our own little sessions and stuff like that, and playing it back. We kind of got the impression that that's what they were doing, is they were kind of making fun of us. Where we did an Estes session, I was the person with the just listening to the radio thing,
right?
And basically it was like they were asking those mock questions like other investigators do. The very first thing they said was, "Why aren't you dead?" That's how it started. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And there were a few more questions. They said my name. They said Enzo, which I was like, okay. That was the only time I kind of like lost my cool a little bit when I was repeating back what I was hearing. It's like, okay, that's weird. They said my name.
Yeah.
Because how do you hear that on the radio? But then there were other follow-ups where it was a lot of the questions that you would hear during those Q&A type things, where you get someone that's, how long have you been here? What are you doing here? Are you, did you die a long time ago? All of those things kind of like sort of came up as the things I was hearing out of the radio, where we kind of got the impression they were kind of making fun of us. That and then that dried up very quickly.
Yeah. And Debbie, that's what I was touching on. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we're not near-death experiences absolutely do happen. I believe that they do happen. Again, that's probably someone who has crossed, they've gone, and that's where they're getting told to go back. But no one I believe them, but a lot of people go, but usually when they come back, those people, they don't, as much as they like it, they were at peace knowing, okay, I know what happens now, so I'm just going to enjoy life. I know they're there. So yes, on the other end, but what I'm saying is I still don't think we're meant to know, because there's a lot of people out there who aren't, if they thought that there was an easy way
Right.
that they were gonna, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but someone like myself, like when I had after Stephen died and I went in and had I had a big operation, and it was shortly after he had passed, before I started my channel, and I had a big operation, and I said to the anaesthetist, if anything happens while I'm under, please don't bring me back.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? And I said, I honestly, I don't try to keep me here. And when I was coming out of the anesthesia for the operation, our brain, our soul is stronger than we give it credit for, because I know what happened to me that day. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be with my Stephen, right? Didn't matter what was here, didn't matter that I had the other kids. I was grieving, and I was at a point where this is horrendous. I can't stand the pain of losing my baby. I don't want to be here. I want to be with him. So they couldn't get me, they couldn't wake me up.
Oh, wow.
They said I was taking one breath per minute. And I remember being shaken, and they injected a drug. God knows what it was. They kept injecting me with stuff. The anaesthetist was called in. He upped my oxygen. They were shaking me, wake up, wake up, wake up. And they thought I was cactus. They said to me, it took them something like half an hour to 40 minutes to get me to get out. Like, they didn't understand why. And I understood why, because I didn't want to wake up. So it was like my body was fighting what they were doing. So the impression I got from that is that we're a lot stronger. Our soul, our spirit is a lot stronger than we realize if we really don't want to be here. But something kept me here. So something was like, no. So it wasn't a near-death experience. It wasn't like I saw someone on the other side, but I didn't want to be here.
Right.
So they had to fight. The doctors had to fight to get me back. If they hadn't have fought, I'd probably be off who knows where now. So I'm glad they brought me back, because now as I've worked through the grief, I kind of know he's there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, or I'm not sure, but I'm hopeful that one day when I do pass away, he'll be there. You know. But I no longer need that validation. I don't. If someone said, "Oh, I can hear your son," and he's telling, I don't need to hear their rubbish. Like, I'm not a big believer in mediums. I do believe, like MJ, my friend, she's definitely got something about her, because some odd things happened over the couple of weeks I spent with her.
Yeah.
But there's so many out there that say that they're this, that, and the other, and I'm like, no, you're not. You're just no, you're not. You're just human, and you've got certain parts of your human abilities. They're there. Like, I still do believe there's people who can, I don't know, communicate with the dead, but feel more. You know, like empaths and stuff. But again, every man and their dog's an empath, a medium, a psychic, and I'm like, you know, that implies that you can talk to the dead, and I still don't know that we can, but I think that we can, but I'm not sure that we can. So I'm still in the middle, but I've certainly gone past thinking I'm going to see a ghost. If I do one day, great, but I'm not expecting to. But I still love going to these historical places. I still speak out loud. I still show respect. Like I said to Enzo, take cake or take flowers or something for the lady of the house. I still walk into a place and say hello and introduce myself as I am, just in case, because I don't know, and I'm open to it all. I'm very open to it all. Some people have said, you don't see anything because you don't believe. No, I do believe. I just don't know what I believe in. So I'm open to anything that happens. I'm not closed off. I'm not completely skeptical. I am a little skeptical of other humans. Depends what they're doing. Depends why they're there. And I certainly, like all the fake channels on YouTube that, it's a demon and it's this and that. Like, whatever. I don't even watch it anymore. I just don't. If I see something that I think might be funny to watch, I'll watch it, but I don't bother anymore. It's just how I feel. But there you go. have I missed any questions? Because
you actually you have. Tanya sent
I missed
Tanya has sent a very generous super chat.
Oh,
did you? Oh, Tanya.
she's sweet.
Oh, thank you. Well, guess what? I still have. There we go. A dance for you. Thank you, Tanya. and yes, don't worry, guys. So that anyone who's gone through grief probably understands exactly what I was saying there. But yeah, and yes, I think she's just put up a new channel. She had the Sage Paranormal, but I did put it. I talked to her the other day. Actually, she's done my 5 haunting questions. I'll work on that. I'll probably have that up tomorrow for everybody, for MJ. But yeah, because she's going to start putting things up, like, you know, the first of this or the first of that. But she's got her Patreon. She mainly does stuff on Patreon.
Okay.
So yeah, so I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer there before with my story, but I was just trying to make a point that how strong our energy, how strong our energy is, you know, and the very fact that there's so much more mystical, magical stuff to our souls and spirit. And that's why I'm sort of been drawn to, I was showing the books before, you know, I've been drawn into wanting to learn more about ancient ways, because I think they were onto stuff that over the years has been transformed more into religion-based things.
Right.
Because a lot of the religions did take from pagan ways.
Oh, yeah.
They did. They took rituals, they took teachings. So I'm more interested in learning, and so much of it is lost, though. It's not because of when the Christian way came into being, a lot of the old ways were pushed out, books were burnt, you know, you were hung, you were a witch. So much of that stuff has been lost over time, and we'll never get it back. But luckily, some people still kept practicing and kept notes and kept different things. So I'm very interested in researching that and what they thought then about death and dying and what happened, you know, because Halloween, perfect. And you probably know about this too, Carla, the origins of Halloween. It's definitely not a Christian holiday. And it's not. You know, it's not. It was all about the changing of the seasons, wanting a good crop, being kind to the gods and leaving them out, and knowing that at a certain time that you did, and that's where the masks came into being. You had to hide your face.
Right.
Like there's all connections to nature and all that.
Yeah.
It's the spirits. So and you had to be kind, and you had to, and offerings that were left, like we give candy now, that was about the offering to the god to give them a bountiful crop. And back to that. So there's all, and of course now we celebrate Halloween. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything about Halloween that's Christian. It's not supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a good time, dress up, have your candy. But yeah, it's you know, hang on, what? Maisie Rose, the Friday House has asked 2 questions and started them with a Q. Oh, all right, hang on, I'll go back because I'm not very good at this. If
You're out of practice.
Have you ever looked into astral travel? Yes. Oh, I haven't got it. That's the other thing. There's Karen. Hang on. I've just got there's a place in America, and I've talked to Enzo about this, and I've gone blank. There's a place that the fellow who I've got his books, but I've got them on you know, ebooks. Oh, Struth. Hang on, I'll tell you in a minute. The Monroe, does that sound right? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, the Monroe Institute?
There's my ebook. Thank you. And yeah, I've been reading because he believed that you could do that and leave your body, and he says he did. So you can go to the Monroe Institute there's also on his website that, yes. So I am actually looking into that. Was that the first or the first question?
Very vocalization there.
Yes, Enzo.
My kitty.
The Monroe Institute is actually kind of at the core, middle part of the beginning of the United States version of all of that, of remote viewing program, which I've looked into a little bit. I have a book that I have not started yet that talks a little bit more about that, how to do it, and seeing if it's effective. So, yep.
Yeah. Oh, so you've probably got the same books I have. Yeah. I was saying to Enzo, I would love to. It is a wish of mine if I ever win the lotto. It is a wish of mine to actually, because you can go there. You can go to the Monroe Institute, and there's I don't know if it's classes, but whatever it is, you go there, you can stay there, and they attempt to assist you with learning all about it, how it works, and So my problem is with that. I'm very high strung, and always my brain's just tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I'm always thinking about something, so I don't know if I'd actually be able to meditate to get to that state, because the minute I start to relax and quieten my brain, it doesn't go quiet. I start to think about, I should
something else swirls its way in there. Yeah, I'm the same way. But
the reason I actually thought about it would be great to go there is because I thought, who knows, they may actually be able to teach me how to quiet my brain and meditate, because I have tried and I just can't do it. I've always got to be, even when I put together my videos, I have to have a YouTube podcast going. So I'm putting together my, I can't have absolute quiet.
You have to have that input, yeah.
So I have to have different noise. So I don't know what that says about me exactly, but yeah. So when I try to relax and deep breathe and all that sort of thing, it works for about a few seconds, and then my brain, no, I've got to get up and move. That's why I'm struggling at the moment, having this operation. I'm not allowed to move or do anything, and I've got to keep still, and it's driving me nuts. Yeah, Julie, me too. Yeah. Friday's got a question for you. Enzo, are you covering anything on the how do you say that?
Kozyrev.
How do you say that?
Mirror.
Kozyrev.
It's a researcher in the Soviet Union that designed this mirror that went in a big spiral, saying that the reflections inside of this spiral mirror wall, as it went around in the circle, where you could sit in the middle, you could actually achieve what would be equivalent to time travel with that, and be able to see other things. It's like I know the gang over at the guy with the goldfish. I just drew a blank on his name. His show. I know he's
Y-Files.
Yes, the Y-Files. I apologize.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, just type in the Kozyrev mirror. He has a whole episode where he talks about that. I'm interested in it because it is a curiosity. I don't think I will actually build a Kozyrev mirror thing in my basement, but yes, it's the shape of the spiral that it makes is very specific, which is where the golden ratio comes in.
That's neat. I've never heard of that before.
If I Friday House, if I didn't answer all of your questions because I only answered one, I couldn't see another one. I didn't want to. Yeah, I'm a shocker. When I start talking, I don't look at the chat. Yes. Carla's kitty cat.
Oh, this is grim.
Cute.
He's a big.
His
name's
Grim.
Grim.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big kitty. He was a stray. We adopted him. Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Oh, I did answer them. Good. Thank you. So I don't know, but so Halloween is coming up, and that's all right. I thought I was going crazy then. And thank you, Tanya. Thank you. I might go and get myself some lunch with that, Tanya. That's what I'll do. I'll shout but then again, no, because I do have my subscription coming up. I've got my Ancestry.com. Actually, thank you, Tanya. You have provided me some money towards my Ancestry.com subscription.
There you go.
So thank you. I've got to be a good girl and remember that it's to help out with my research. So, yeah. But I've got a whole heap of stuff. And now that I'm not allowed to move or do anything, I should really be sitting in front of my computer doing it. I'm working on Jack the Ripper. I mentioned this the other day. I did share it out, and I don't know how many people saw it. But this book here, Naming Jack the Ripper, is written by Russell Edwards, right? And I met him in England when I was over there. See, he signed my book.
Wow.
I met him when I was in England. He is the one that has I had a really good chat with him, and he walked, not just me, he walked a group of people around, but I stuck next to him and just a million questions. Everyone else was like, you know, and I was like, and what about this? And what about that? And how did you do this? And how did you do that? So I find him absolutely fascinating. I might even try. He's really busy at the moment, because if anyone saw what I put on my Facebook, he has spent about the last 25 years trying to. He purchased. Some people, sorry about the dogs, some people might know about a shawl that was supposedly linked to the Mitre Square murder, and it had DNA on it. So it had Eddowes, Catherine Eddowes. It had her DNA on it, and that was proven through connections to the family. But it also had semen on it. So this murderer, Jack, obviously got off on what he did. So Russell purchased it at great cost. He wouldn't tell me how much. It probably, he said, a lot of money, all right? He purchased it, and he spent thousands, and I'm talking around about 20,000, maybe more, pounds, not dollars, on getting this shawl DNA'd and processed. And he used a familial DNA to get it down to so the murderer, the person he thought it was, he got their great niece, because it's that close to the familiar DNA. It's in. I'm still reading the book, but anyway, long story short. It did come out a few years back. They'd said, oh, this is who it is, right? And then other people said, oh, no, there's a mistake and this and that and the other thing. So he had it done again. So he spent more money on getting the DNA done again through different sources. And it has just come back. They were in Parliament. It's my understanding that there's going to be a court case, like they will do an actual proper type look into it, but they've named him. So they do believe now they know the name and who Jack the Ripper was.
That's crazy.
And it's been proven properly through the DNA. So and when I was walking with him and we did because I did say to you before I went away that I didn't want to just tell us the name. Oh, you didn't. Yeah, you're not on my Facebook, are you? I'll show you. Hang on. Because
it's pretty amazing that the records were good enough back in those days where they can track it down to know exactly who it was.
Right.
Well, yeah, and Russell has been in the where are we? Russell has been to Scotland Yard. Anyone can actually go there. All of the records from the case are there at Scotland Yard, and you can get them out, you can look through them. Yeah. Hang on. Where is it, Russell? Oh, I've gone past the bloody thing. Hang on. It's on the Facebook. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Did you hear that? Could you hear that or not? No? You couldn't hear what I just did?
Oh, what did you do?
All right. I'm sure I won't get in trouble. If I do, I'll just tell Russell to not let me get just watch it, guys. Share. And how do I make this bigger?
The identity of one of the world's most notorious serial killers may have been discovered. The serial killer killed at least 5 women in London in 1888.
Police techniques burgeoned into what they are today around this time period, and a lot due to the Jack the Ripper case. The first women are taken to the morgue and then photographed. But the 5th victim is where they figured out we need to take a picture in situ.
DNA was reportedly found on the shawl of Jack the Ripper's 4th victim.
DNA evidence, they say, helped solve one of history's biggest crime mysteries.
I had no idea whatsoever when I bought that shawl that the evidence that was on the shawl would link directly to him.
So this is an admissions and discharge register. It's really just a top-level register which tells you when people came in and when they left. Now, if we're fortunate, then there'll also be a case register.
Right. And do you have that available?
In this case, we are fortunate, yeah, because we do have this particular case register.
My name is Russell Edwards. In 2007, I bought an artifact that was placed at the scene of the 4th murder, Jack the Ripper. It's a shawl.
This silk shawl is believed to be the last piece of physical evidence left from his killing spree more than 130 years ago.
The pattern on the shawl is a pattern of Michaelmas daisies. Michaelmas is an Eastern Orthodox Christian celebration, the 29th of September and the 8th of November. And lo and behold, those are the 2 dates he committed 3 of his 5 murders.
2 biochemists who analyzed it say they detected the DNA of Catherine Eddowes, Jack the Ripper's 4th victim, in apparent bloodstains.
My name is Dr. Jari Louhelainen. I'm a biochemist by training and I work at Liverpool John Moores. I have invested hundreds of hours of my time to this research.
I didn't meet Jari till 2011. I'd already had the shawl for 4 years. And really I was just interested, was there any link to that shawl to the murder scene? Now, if Jari had said to me at the time, you know, Russ, this has no link whatsoever, that would have been it. I would have gone on with my life.
When I got the shawl, I started looking if there are any forensic stains. Secondly, I had to start thinking how to sample the shawl without damaging it. I had to devise a method which looked inside the shawl, sort of under the surface, this kind of micro vacuuming system.
The evidence that he found, there was arterial blood spatter consistent with slashing.
This is a 126-year-old blood sample, so that restricts us to mitochondrial DNA, and more we have, more statistical power we have as well.
What my job was to find a direct female descendant to see if we could match her mitochondrial DNA. So I'm looking for a needle in a haystack in a field full of haystacks. I tried genealogy at first. There was a documentary called Jack the Ripper, Find My Past. On there is a direct living female descendant.
It's just a shock. You just don't ever think you'll be related to something like that. So I was at work, sitting at my desk, and I got a phone call from Russell.
So the descendant, her name is Karen Miller.
Catherine has never been discussed in our family at all.
Approaching Karen, I realised I'm never going to get the chance to exhume Catherine Eddowes for a DNA. So if Karen said no to me, the story would have ended there as well. And she said to me, if you can help me find the murderer or name the murderer of my great-great-great-grandmother, I'll do anything to help you.
No one deserves to be murdered, killed in the way those poor women were killed.
What we discovered through lots of research I did at that point, that the shawl was silk and it would have been owned by someone upper class, upper middle class. Certainly not a street prostitute would have had the funds to own that. That was a huge revelation to me. The only one person that could have left the shawl at the murder scene, if it wasn't owned by the victim, it must have been the murderer, which then brought us the focus onto the semen on the shawl. Because if it wasn't the victim and she hadn't gone out and found a customer, then the semen on the shawl would have been deposited by the murderer himself.
2 biochemists published their data for the first time in a scientific paper last week. They said the semen stain contained fragments of mitochondrial DNA.
I think from this one study alone, we have to be a little bit cautious.
An immigrant from Poland is now a leading suspect.
Author Russell Edwards claims Aaron Kosminski was definitely the man behind the killing spree.
If there's any doubts about the veracity of what Jari has done, the right place to deal with that is in court.
What Jari had managed to do, to obtain 100% match between the semen that we'd taken from the shore with the direct female descendants of the sister of Aaron Kosminski. There were only ever 3 suspects ever named, and Kosminski was one of them. He was incarcerated back in 1891 in Colney Hatch Asylum. They moved him to Leavesden 3 years later, and this is where he ended up.
Aaron Kosminski was a patient at Leavesden Asylum, the first really major mental health facility that was built north of London.
This is the case notes, basically, so it's more detail about Aaron Kosminski. They're saying here that he believes that his actions are dominated by an instinct, and it's probably all hallucination.
This is just absolutely fascinating. Occupation hairdresser. Back then, barbers and hairdressers had anatomical knowledge. The dye analysis that we did all point to Shaw's origin from Eastern European, which is where he came from.
Assuming we get good news from the Attorney General, so we're going to be going to a trial on this. My view is that it's going to be one of the most interesting cases that ever comes before a British court.
There's no genuine face of this man.
Had they taken a photograph at the time, then this is where we find it.
Now, because of Erebon's snapshot,
we can predict the physical traits, the source of that DNA.
With the help of Parabon, we can actually get the face of Jack the Ripper.
If the DNA evidence that we now have had been available to the coroner in 1888, it would have been appropriate for the coroner then to charge Kosminski with Catherine Eddowes' murder.
There you go, and I'll show you the face of Jack the Ripper. You ready?
Wow. This is like CSI 1888. This is amazing.
Right. Oh, I know. Hang on, why is it? Stop it. Oh, hang on. It's being a pain in the ass. Present. I'm trying to stop things. Slides. No, why aren't you letting me? Hang on, I'm doing something. All right, it's okay. I was doing something stupid.
Fascinating. Just the amount, just the technology we have today to discover all of that from something that's 100+ years ago. Right. Look at that.
That's him. You think butter wouldn't melt in his mouth? So from when I was talking to Russell, the general consensus is that he was not the full quid, probably schizophrenic, but and also there were issues, and he goes into it in his book. So if you want a good read, get that one, Jack the Ripper, by Russell Edwards, and he talks all about his background, his family background, and if you remember with Catherine Eddowes, anyone who's spoken about the case, she had like little cuts in a V under her eyes, and Russell brought up the fact that indeed he was a hairdresser. His dad was a tailor, and yes, back in the day, if anybody knows why you would go to a barber, they were also medical. They would do little operations, pull out your teeth, all that sort of thing. Same in America. Your local barber was your dentist and doctor. Russell said that
they used to bleed you with leeches back in the day. That's why the barber pole today is blue and red. That's the blood is what that is.
Well, because they used to hang their rags out, the bloody rags, and wash them and stuff. But yeah, so he thinks that the V's under the eyes were done with the scissors, the tailor's scissors. And when you think about it, oh yeah. So, but anyway, it's been proven. So there you go. That's what they think he looked like. And as a woman, if you saw someone, and he was only young, so if you saw someone like that coming towards you, you wouldn't think, you just wouldn't. You probably would go around the corner with him because he looks harmless. Right. So if anyone wants a good read, and so Russell's very excited about it all because, of course, now they're going to be looking at actually taking it to court and going through everything, all the information, everything, and actually finally, so yeah, there you go. So everybody who thought it was, I know, Dr. Deb, it is, isn't it? So everyone who thought, like I never thought it was Prince Albert, and I never thought, and that's the other thing, when you watch a movie, it's always someone in a top hat, it's always someone in a top hat. someone in a top hat was usually a doctor or a well-to-do person, and they would have stood out like dog balls in Spitalfields and Whitechapel. They couldn't have, and they wouldn't have known the area. And when I went for a walk with Russell, and we did all the, like, we walked to all the murder sites, or every single one of them.
Wow.
And when you realise in real time walking it, how close it all is, it was very, very, it wasn't like he had to go very far. And when you know where his house was, it's so close. So, and whoever it was definitely needed to know the area to get away as quickly as they can. So, and where he lived was central to all of them. One of them, he was only across the road. So that's
what always surprised me, is like, how did they not catch him? Because it was always in this very small general area that he did all of these things.
Well, I think they came close a couple of times possibly to catching him. But just, they did arrest him. He was the first one arrested. He was the first one brought in for questioning, but they didn't have enough to go on, and they had to let him go. And even the family apparently approached and said, look, we think it's our son, like there's something not right with our son. And henceforth he was put into the asylum, and surprise, surprise, nothing else happened after that. So and as I say, Russell spent a fortune, absolute friggin' fortune on this. It's been his life for nearly 25 years. So that's a lot of time. So yeah. So there you go. So the mystery has been solved. So I'm getting excited to see what ends up happening with the taking it to court, so to speak. So it is interesting. Yes, Spring Heel Jack. And,
I laughed at that one too.
And that's it. Yeah, but there you go. But so yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. See, to the people that are watching my live, you've learnt something that other people haven't, because they're probably off watching drama. That was drama.
It's real world drama.
The drama of it.
CSI 1888. So that's amazing.
Yeah. So Carla, do you want to tell people again what you've got coming up this week? Because it's time to go on that.
Yep,
and also Enzo, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Go, Carla.
Well, October 30th, my Halloween special will be out 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that'd be 6 p.m. Mountain time in US. You guys are 17 hours ahead of me, I discovered. So
in Australia.
Yeah. So now it's about what time for you? Almost noon?
It's 12 p.m. It's lunchtime. Yeah, it's Sunday.
So it's almost 9 p.m. here, I think. Yeah. That's really neat, though. It's interesting. You guys are a day ahead. Yeah, but that's what's coming up.
The future looks great. The sun is out, okay? Tomorrow's going to be a lovely day.
Nice. It's getting chilly here. We're getting ready for Halloween here. All the leaves have fallen, and it's cold. And yeah. But yeah, my Halloween.
So go check out Carla's channel, and Tanya's just put a link to it there. Go check out the channel and tune in on All Hallows Eve, Halloween. And Enzo, put it up. Come on, you put up a picture before. I saw it. It looked like a critter. Let's show everyone your critter before we go.
Well, before we get into that, I'll say that I will not be here next week because I'll be doing a paranormal investigation with my friends from Bordertown Paranormal. We have been requested to do. It's not one of the thing with the gang from Caney, Kansas, from Bordertown Paranormal is they're kind of like the real life Ghostbusters kind of a thing where people will call and ask them, can you come and look at something? Because there's something strange in my neighborhood. Can you come and check it out? Kind of a thing. And because they are they tight-lipped, I think, because some of these places are actual government facilities or like colleges or businesses and things like that. They're like, we can't keep our people working there because they're getting scared out because they're seeing weird shit. Can you come and look at it, please? And so, I can't really tell you what's going to happen, the place that we're going to, or who it is, or anything like that. But the group that I'm associated with, they hold everything is a possibility. They start off with like the basic stuff. They have like electronic sniffers to make sure there's not like gas leaks and stuff like that, where people are imagining things and things like that. And then go from there. It'll probably be an all-nighter next Saturday night. I won't get home until the wee hours of the morning on Sunday morning, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. I'm very interested to learn a lot from them, how their process goes. But in any way, I will not be here next week, so I apologize for that. But the thing that I had,
so I'll have to try and find some other eye candy. We'll have to get some other eye candy, won't we, Carla?
Yep, you'll have to get some other eye candy.
They probably don't have snazzy shirts like him, though.
Well, nobody does.
No.
This, of course, is.
Oh, you found Winnie. You found Winnie for me.
This is the statue of Winnie the Pooh. That's where exactly is this again? What zoo or what?
It's at the London Zoo. Yeah, I took video and everything. That's the London Zoo. So, and it's not Winnie the Pooh. It's just Winnie the bear, and that's the soldier. That yeah. So yeah.
Of
so
course, being that friendly with bears will lead to this kind of stuff.
Oh, that'd be me.
Young bears ripping apart your pumpkins on your front porch.
Oh wow.
This is in a suburb in North Carolina this past week. They the one on the right is just mowing down on one pumpkin, and the rest are going about their business, carrying off other things. Let's see. Oh, we had a quick story. Mysterious winged and horned creature caught on camera at the zoo. This is from England's Bristol Zoo. It's asking for the public's help to identify a mysterious winged and horned creature caught on a trail camera in the woodland area around the zoo. It
looks to me like possibly a goat, and it's got it's not a wing. It looks to me like it's probably someone's pet goat or deer, and it's probably maybe I don't know what it is on its back. If that's as best as they can do, it's a bit hard to tell. But if it were a pet, it could just have something. It could be something tied around its neck that it's broken off. Could be, if it was a moving thing, it'd be easier. But it just looks like maybe a goat or something. Goat or a deer, a baby deer.
What do you think it is, Carla?
It's not a predator because it's got green eyes.
No,
the colored eyes give it away. So it's something, and it's an herbivore. It looks to me kind of like a deer. It does, like she was saying, like a goat or a deer. It's definitely not a predator animal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's a horn.
It's not. The general consensus is that this is just a super generic night vision built into it, hanging on the post style game camera. Not high resolution, not particularly good. Caught this thing because it's a low light condition because it's totally black out there. This is like a night vision style thing, so it has to hold the shutter open a little longer than you normally would with a camera. I think what we're seeing here is if you look at the shape of the wings,
like a drag,
it's exactly the same shape of the ear here, and even a little bit even up here. The general consensus is this is a local deer, a small deer, and it moved for a second and then stopped when it heard the whirring thing from the game camera when it was taking the picture, and it stopped for a second. So basically, you've got a long a long open shutter type experience. So it's going to be blurred, it's going to be mirrored and stuff like that. Certainly not a winged creature, I don't think at all. But the local zoo there in London felt like they should put this on their website. Actually, it was on Facebook saying, "Hey, what is it? We don't know what it is." Like, well,
you just have to look at it for a minute to figure it out.
Yeah,
and you're right.
Yeah.
That's what it's done. It's just it's walking up the hill. It's looked and then it's moved its head as it's gone, click and taken the photo, and that's what you've got there.
Pretty much.
Yep,
that's my conclusion of it. Because I mean, obviously, it certainly is an actual picture. This does match wildlife in the area for this whatever the type of deer this is. They name it in the article, but we don't need to go back to it. But
they've got tons of deers around there. Yeah.
So it's that not necessarily Loch Ness monster level stuff for sure, but they would go that far to post this on their public Facebook. It's like, well, we don't know what this is. We need the public to help us out. It's like
it gets people into the zoo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it gets people like, oh, the zoo posted this, and then we haven't been to the zoo for a while. Let's go.
Right.
So
There
it's
you
clever
go.
advertising.
Yeah.
But since we're almost out of time, I have a quick story that I actually heard of this outside of this, but there was an Illinois man, about a couple weeks ago, went into his local grocery store, did his shopping, and as he's leaving, he's like, you know what? I'm going to stop by the lotto vending machine, because in the U.S. we have these vending machine style things where you can buy lottery tickets or scratch off tickets and all that stuff from them there. I know my local grocery store has one, which I have played and lost a lot. But anyways, this guy was like, you know what? I'm going to play the thing. But the machine was broken when he was trying to. He wanted to play because there's several different games or ticket kind of things you can buy. You can go and choose whatever you want, and if it's a scratch off, it just drops it off like an actual candy vending machine down the bottom. You can do whatever you need to do. But for whatever reason, it was stuck on the Illinois Lotto and it wouldn't leave. He couldn't exit out of it, which is not the game he wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? I can't. Screw it. I'm busy. I wanted to screw it. I'll just buy the Illinois Lotto. Turns out he goes back the next day and runs that ticket through there for $9.2 million freaking dollars.
He's lucky he got stuck.
Exactly. He said him and his wife the following day went, because they have a little scanner machine next to it that'll check your ticket to see, if you got anything or not. And it pops up $9.2 million freaking dollars. And he's like just laughing with his wife. It's like, I was really bitching about this yesterday because it wasn't doing the thing I wanted. As it turns out, it's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those things where don't fight what the universe has given you. If they're giving you this thing, take it. There's a reason for it.
Yep.
But
that's cool.
9.2.
Just go with it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, on that happy note for that man, I want to thank Carla for being here and keeping us company with her little pretty cat down below that's been ripping away that cardboard box. And Enzo, thank you. And
like those bears in the other video.
Yeah.
And as I say, and as Enzo said, he won't be here next week. That's okay. I'll get someone to fill his spot. It's a hard spot to fill, though, Enzo. It's a high. It's a big spot. High bar.
Yeah. They need to bring their own fire. I'm not leaving this behind.
And everybody have a happy Halloween, and keep an eye open for 5 haunting questions this week and my little Jack the Ripper episode that I'll put out. And I will try to get Russell on, but I know he's busy right now. He's being asked to do lots of interviews and stuff, so I don't know if he'll come on my little channel, but we'll see. And have a lovely Saturday night there. Have a nice weekend, the rest of your weekend, and be Monday for me tomorrow. And I love you all, and thanks for being faithful
Thank you.
And coming to keep me company.
I enjoyed
That's all I can ask for, to have good. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
everybody. I shall see you through the week, and I'll see you again next week.